I'm Ellis Maginn. I head up the specification team at Recoup, who specialise in wastewater heat recovery for showers. I think despite the fact that it's packed with technologies, it looks just like a normal house. And I think certainly things like the heating in the ceiling takes away from the radiators. It feels a lot more spacious than most normal houses. So I think a lot of the technology is hidden away, which is actually a key. Well, most people aren't aware that 85 to 90% of the heat energy that comes out of the shower head goes down the drain and leaves the building. So it's the equivalent to sitting in a living room in the winter and having a window open. You just wouldn't do it. So I think once people understand that and then realise how much energy potentially has been wasted, the fact that we can then recycle that wasted heat energy back and make it usable again makes perfect sense. So that's the premise of it. All of our products are heat exchangers, so they're all passive heat exchangers, and essentially when you shower, your warm shower waste runs down the drain and into the heat exchanger pipe. At the same time, when you switch the shower on, cold water main under mains pressure is drawn on the other side of the heat exchanger and it's preheated. So if cold water's coming in at say 10 or 12 degrees, which is pretty typical, that will get a free energy uplift to about 28, even 30 degrees. So we're getting a big temperature rise and making it usable for what essentially is your heat energy going down the drain, or that kind of proverbial money down the drain being put to good use. I think with a lot of technologies there can be. I think with ours, because essentially it's a technology that boxes in behind the plasterboard and isn't really seen, there's not a lot of confusion because most homeowners simply don't know it's there. There's no change to how they shower, there's no change to the flow rates or the temperature. It just works every time they switch the shower on. And because there's no moving parts, no filters, no consumables, it can't be switched off either. It's part of the plumbing infrastructure. So it just sits there and works every time the shower's used. So in that respect, it's very simple, and conceptually it's simple, but realistically from a marketing point of view, most people just don't know that it's there. So it flies under the radar in a way. It's not a requirement, but it's included on the notional dwelling, which is the BRE recipe for the most cost-effective way of achieving compliance for new build. So having been included on the notional dwelling for current Part L, that really did put wastewater heat recovery in front of a lot of people that hadn't heard of it, and certainly the inquiries ramped up from there. But it's as a kind of a company and a business, that's where our direction of travel has been. Something that works within the regulations that then can be included for most homes.